I want to introduce the artist for tonight. His name is John Robinson. John, like, come on over to the stage.
I like him a lot too.
You know. 1, 2, check.
Oh no.
1, 2. Yes.
Okay, so
we live.
Alright, so first of all, we know you go by many names. Like, what do you want us to call you? JR, John Robinson, Little
JR is the easiest. JR is the easiest.
JR is the easiest. Yeah. Okay, everyone, so this is JR.
I got it on the hat, so you constantly see it.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, JR has been in the music industry for a very long time. He's worked do you want to kind of like elaborate like where
name drop a little bit?
Yeah, like tell us about like
Well, I started actually officially here in Jersey. Like me and my brother, we moved to New Jersey our senior year high school. So like a little before senior year, 93. Came to Jersey, met a lot of good people. Kava is one of them. You know, talking more than 20 years ago now, and it really started in Jersey. You know, we were working with a producer here, Don Q, peace to Don Q, originally from Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Literally grew up like around the corner from Cobb. So we started working with Don Q. Don Q and the music we made with him, later I got it to Bobito Garcia, who's, you know, pioneer radio DJ in New York, underground hip hop specifically. And started really there with his label, started releasing a lot of independent music. And because of his international connections and notoriety, it allowed us to start traveling. So I would say about 99, we started hitting Europe and expanding and traveling and, you know, just spreading the name and really just doing what we loved, but learning at the same time. I felt like for us, we were blessed to be around people to empower us with a lot of solid information about what it took and what were the smartest moves to make as an independent artist.
Okay. So then also with some like with a lot of the like what kind of music do you have? What kind of music are you pushing out into the world? What do you think your style is?
I would say my style, it's a variety of styles, but it's based on life and experience. You know, I'm a jazz lover, so jazz is in there. I'm an educator, so there's a lot of substance and integrity involved. You know, I grew up in the Bronx and Queens, so there's a lot of true school hip hop elements and boom bap in there. And I feel like it's just a nice smorgasbord of just my life experiences put in music. And I like to collaborate with different people. So a lot of times it's me meeting, you know, a producer maybe from abroad, somewhere like Switzerland or Japan or London or wherever, and meet that producer and kind of collaborate our vibes together. So I feel like through the catalog, there's a lot of different vibes.
Oh, that's great. So where are some of the places that you have been and performed?
Some of my favorite, I'll name top: South Africa, Cape Town, Johannesburg, Japan. I've been to Tokyo. I've been to a lot of different countries in Europe and all around the States. So I feel that the place that I want to go next that I haven't been anywhere in South America and on that side of the world. But yeah, it's been a blessing to not only just travel, but to, I guess, meet and build community and kind of have family in different parts of the world now. You know, you go places enough times and you build with people, and music's very spiritual, so it connects people. If you do music and you're on a certain vibration and you meet people who are on that vibe, they trust you automatically. It's like a connection, you know? So I've been places where I get off a plane, meet someone for 10 minutes, and they're basically putting their lives in my hand and saying, yeah, I'll be at work, take the studio keys and whatever you need to do. And I'm just like, dude, you don't know me. Like, what's your name again? You know, like, it's amazing at the same time. So I feel like it empowers you with all this insight of how powerful the music is, how powerful performing is, and even more so how powerful just the gift of sharing it is, because it teaches you a lot.
And how has your music changed since you have started doing all of your travels? Like I know like in the beginning it may have been one way, and then like how has your music evolved?
It's a good question. I guess with seeing different things, you gain perspective. So you're no longer just talking about what it's like around the way. Now you're seeing perspective of hip hop in the crevices of the world. You're seeing kids that you would probably laugh at and say, "Ah, he knows nothing about hip hop," but then he takes out his drum machine and pushes play, and your mind's blown. And you're like, "Okay, I'm sorry." What he's doing over here, but it gains you perspective. So I feel like the conversation gets more sophisticated. There's more things to talk about. It's more of a worldly perspective. You're speaking of things from, traveling to different time zones, meeting different people. I always cheat and try to learn like 20 words. That was my thing, 20 words. I never learned the actual whole language, but 20 words. Just moved to the city, 20 words, and it works well.
That's pretty cool. As far as what you're doing now, like I want to know about what you're doing now. I actually listened to one of your podcasts where you did the vegan brunch, and I'm not a vegan, but I heard they were talking about vegan bacon, and it sounds so good, and I'm just like, what in the world?
I love it. So yes, that podcast is called Epic Brunch. It's myself and Cece, my fiance, Corinne Conway, and yeah, it was a journey. I became a vegan more so because I decided to do a cleanse, and I started drinking green juice. I said, you know what, I'm gonna drink green juice, nothing but green juice for about 3-4 days, see how I feel. Got to 4th day, said, you know what, I'm gonna do it a week. I'm here. Got to 7 days. 7 turned to 14. 14 turned to 21. 21 turned to a month. By the time I bit into an apple after 30 days of just drinking green juice, it tastes like Thanksgiving. Like literally biting into just an apple. But what I noticed is I kind of reboot my system because I didn't necessarily want meat. I wasn't a heavy meat eater anyway, but I didn't want meat. I didn't want dairy, and I'm a cheese lover. I tried to eat cheese a few times since then. It destroyed me, and I said, you know what? I'm good on cheese too. And it's been some years since then, and I feel like the more I empower myself with information about that, it just keeps me going. So with the podcast, it's not really a judgment thing at all. It's more of us sharing our experiences, us talking to friends and associates and people who are either on the vegan wavelength, vegetarian, or just curious about it and wondering why we're doing it or why other people do it. So it's really about sharing insight and empowerment and sharing experience.
Oh, that's good. That's great. I listened to the podcast and I really liked it, so I'm going to continue.
Check us
So
out.
yeah, and
Epic
anybody
Brunch.
else you want to shout it out?
epicbrunch.com. It's real easy. You can find us.
Okay, and then also, like, are you involved in any other what other projects are you working on currently?
Quite a few. The most intense thing I've been doing that I don't really share a lot. I'm an educator, so the last going on 4 years now, I've been in both high school and junior high schools using hip hop and culturally responsive pedagogy to teach young students how to pass the global regents in global history and U.S. history, and then also doing some work with middle school children just to really enhance how they participate, how they learn, and their want to learn, and using a lot of these updated methods to enhance learning in the classroom. And it's been brilliant. It's been a thing that I feel like empowered my situation. Is very rewarding. Outside of that, a lot of music projects on the horizon. Peace to Ray West and AG at Red Apples 45. Peace to my comrade Elo Kush, who just got here actually. Peace to my brother Four Winds. And yeah, on the creative level, I feel like the easiest way to stay abreast of what's happening is the JohnRobinsonProject.com. been working on some beat stuff, been working on more music stuff, been working on some international collaboration stuff, and working on building artists and people that I'm inspired by right here. So I've been doing a lot of that type of stuff too, working in terms of producing other people, but just also consulting young artists in terms of just where they are and kind of giving them insight on how to guide their career and take it to the next level.
Okay. And then also I wanted to ask, I just Ti just released a music video and it was really controversial. It has to do with a lot of the attention that's being brought to like police brutality
Yes.
and things of that nature. How has that affected your music? Have you like started like more like pushing your music more towards activism ever since this has been like brought to the attention of like nationwide?
Yeah. I would say directly no. I feel like my music's kind of always been there, just because I felt like all the music I've done has been aiming towards empowerment and upliftment and, raising yourself up no matter who you are. But I guess what I would say to that is, there's a lot of people out there watching, seeing what's going on in the world. And, it's very hurtful to see just plain sight all of these things happen over and over again and no justice come from them. And, police officers walk away scot free and black families particularly are left hurt, pain, etc. And there's a lot of hurt and pain in the history of this country with black families particularly. So, I see the argument with the Black Lives Matters versus All Lives Matter, etc. And I guess my opinion on it would be, of course, all lives matter, but we're living in a state where it seems like black lives don't matter. So that's why the people are yelling it loud, and that's why we all yell it loud. And that's why, you see a lot of the protests and things like that. I feel personally, um, that's why I'm so in tune with young people. I build with young people every day because I feel like it's important to invest in a future that way, like change some minds of the people coming up so that later will be better. I mean, we're in a time right now where even coming out here, honestly, driving out here from Brooklyn, Jersey, I've never really had a cool relationship with Jersey and traffic and police. And, it's like they hunt you out here. They're always trying to get you on some license, dumb shit, pull over, and I see I guess, the cycle. And the most I can say about it is I'm going to continue to do what I do musically. I'm going to continue to do what I do just as a presence and as a person and continue to empower young people to think differently and to actively become, members of their communities, powerful members of their communities. But outside of that, I feel like it's more about the other people looking and watching who are not the victims, and they have to stop being silent too. Like real talk. There's a lot of people in power who don't necessarily agree what's happening, but to just stay silent, that's not helping this scenario. So it's like I feel like those people have to speak up. Those people have to really like stop fronting. You know, I mean, we have the president right now basically ignoring that situation, like it's not happening. He spoke a little bit about it, but I feel like overall he's been ignoring it, definitely.
Okay. Now, do you want to tell us about the selection that you're performing tonight?
You know what? The selections are going to be very random. I'll be honest, just because ultimately I like to come to performances and be we doing this track and that. But today I feel like I'm rapping in my living room because I am. But at the same time, I just feel I feel very free. Like I mentioned before, like me and Kav go back, 20 plus years. We met at the beginnings of our creative lives, when we were really getting into it, from taking it from that hobby level to saying, yo, I'm really doing this now. I'm putting it in. I'm investing in this. I'm investing time and sweat equity and little paycheck money and whatever it takes to make this dream become a reality. So, to be here, it feels like family. It feels very wholesome. So I would say it's going to be pretty random.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you. And then last but not least, before we let you perform, who are some of the people that have influenced your career over time?
Oh, that's easy. Him right there, him right there, him right there, him, her over there. But I mean, there's so many. I feel like there's so much music, like people out there checking this out right now. If you're a music lover, you really know that it's impossible to hear it all. There's so much music, but I feel like for me personally, if I had to say names, it would be people like Stevie Wonder. It would be people like Donny Hathaway, definitely, but even people like Lee Morgan and Clifford Brown and Archie Shepp and jazz cats like that, and then even Anita Baker and Sade. So I feel like there's tons and tons of artists. Prince, R.I.P. I gotta shout out one of my hip hop heroes, Underground Comrade. His birthday is actually today, and he passed away last year. My peeps, PH, Robert PH Diaz, so rest in peace, PH, but cats like that, a lot of my comrades are my heroes, because they keep me sharp. So I feel like in terms of that, it's countless. There's a lot.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for sharing. And then we're gonna set up. We're gonna take 5 minutes to set up, and then we're gonna have you perform, and then we're gonna open the floor so everyone can ask questions.
You want to do it now or after the performance?
We're gonna do it after.
After the performance.
Cool. All right.
Yep.
All right.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Okay.